Yes, students, we will discuss now elementary operations. So, elementary operations, basically there are three operations only. Let us understand that part first of all. The first operation says that we can interchange any two rows or any two columns. We can interchange any two rows or any two columns. Right? If I take one simple example, for example, this matrix A is there. It is A, B, C and D, right? I want to change now. This is R1 and this is R2. If I want to change these two rows, interchange, then how will I write down? I will write down R1 double headed arrow R2. This arrow is representing that R1 will take the position of R2 and R2 will take the position of R1. And if you want to change any two columns, let us take another example. Here it is 1, 2, 4, 0, 2, 3, 1, 4, 7. Let us take one simple example. Now this is our column 1, this is our column 2, and here we have column number 3. I want to interchange column 1 with column 3, right? So how will I do? I will write down here apply C1 interchange C3. So when we are writing double headed arrow, it means it is interchange. So the new matrix that we will get after this application of the operation, the third column 4 3 7 will come here. Second column there is no change, it will remain in its place, and the first column is taking the position of third column. So this is how the operations will work. And at the same time, either row operation will work or column operation will work. We cannot mix the things in the sum. So if I am doing the sum, I am starting the sum with row operations, the whole sum will be done with row operations. If I start the sum with column operations, the whole sum will be done by column operations, right? We cannot mix this. Okay, so this thing I think we have left in between. So when I want to interchange R1 and R2, after the application of this, R2 will take the position of R1 and R1 will take the position of R2. So we will write down apply this operation, and the new step, new matrix will be formed, right? So this is the first operation, that we can interchange any two rows or any two columns. Now the second operation, what is that? We can multiply the elements of any row or any column with non-zero scalar. We cannot multiply any row or matrix with the 0. Remember, the scalar which we are going to multiply with the elements of any row or any column with the given matrix, it should be non-zero. So let us take the same matrix A first of all. If I want to do, I will write down here apply. For example, I want to change in R1, multiply by 2 times this. So what I will do, if I want to multiply the elements of first row by 2, I will write down R1 arrow. That means I am going to make the change in the first row. So that thing will be written first, R1 arrow. What is the change? Twice of R1. Right? So this is the new thing that we are going to do, that the elements of R1 we are multiplying by 2. Remember, in place of arrow you cannot use the sign of equality, it will be considered wrong. Arrow is representing what is the operation or what is the new thing you are going to do. Equal to here has no meaning, right? So don't use equal to sign. Okay, since we are applying the operation R1 means twice of R1, so this is our A matrix. One operation we have already applied, interchanged. That means, so here the new matrix that we are getting, it will be done. We are multiplying the first row by 2. So what we will get here? 2c, 2d, and the second row was ab only, so there will be no change in the second row. It will be written as ab. That's it. So we can multiply any row or any column by a non-zero scalar. This is the second operation. Remember, the same thing we can do with the columns. If I want to multiply third column or the second column by 1 by 2, I can multiply by 1 by 2 because 1 by 2 is also a non-zero scalar. So when I multiply c2 by 1 by 2, this will become 1, 1, and it will become 2, and there will be no change in c1 column and c3 column. So this is our second operation, where the second operation says that we can multiply the elements of any row or any column with a non-zero scalar. At the time we will multiply the elements of one row only or one column only. We will not mix the operations here. So take care of this thing, right? Now the third operation. What is the third operation? Third operation is we can add the elements of any row to the elements of any other row, and the same thing will be true for the columns. It means if I want to add here r1 and r2, now definitely these will be added in either one row. It can be added in r1 or this thing can be done in r2. So it will be done if I write down here apply. I want to make the change in r2 now, right? I want to add the elements of r1 in the elements of r2. Remember, when we do the addition, the corresponding elements will get added. So I will write down r2. What is the operation? In r2 I am adding the elements of r1. Elements of row will get added to the elements of row only. Elements of column will get added to the elements of column only. Remember, here once again we cannot mix. We cannot add the elements of row to the elements of column. So after writing this thing, once again I am repeating, I am writing R2 arrow. It means the change we are making in this row R2. What is the change? In R2 we are adding R2 and R1. So after this, the new matrix that we are getting, since there is no change in R1, R1 will be written as such. What is the change in R2? We are just adding the elements. So it will become A plus 2C and here B plus 2D. Likewise, we can do the same operation in the columns also. If I take this example, this is our new matrix, B matrix, after the operation of interchange. Now let us do one thing. In this, I am going to apply, let us take in C2, we want to do C2 minus C1. Why I have taken minus sign? Say if we can add the elements, we can subtract the elements as well. Because in this thing what I will do, first I am multiplying the elements of C1 column by minus 1 and then I am adding the elements to C2 column. So this thing can be done this way also. So when I do apply this C2 in C2 minus C1, what the new matrix we will get here? The new matrix that we will get, let me write down here. Since we are making the change in C2 column, so there will be no change in C1 column. C1 column 4, 3, 7 will be written as such. Now C2 column is C2 minus C1. That means 2 minus this, 2 minus this and 4 minus this number. 2 minus 4 is minus 2, 2 minus 3 is minus 1, 4 minus 7 is minus 3, and there is no change in C1 column. So that C1 column we will write down as such. So this is how we will apply the operations. Let me repeat. The first operation says we can interchange any two rows or any two columns. Second operation says we can multiply the elements of any row by a non-zero scalar, and the same thing can be done with the columns as well. And the third operation says that we can add the elements of any row to the elements of any other row, or the elements of one column to the elements of some other column. Definitely it will be done within the same matrix only, right? And when these operations we apply in order to find the inverse, so if I am writing A matrix is equal to IA, this notation we will use when we are doing the row operations, right? And if I start the sum with column operations, then we will start with this concept A is equals to AI, and this means we are going to start with the column operations. This notation in the beginning will tell us that which operations we are going to start the sum with. A equals to IA, that means the whole sum will go with the row operations only. I will be applying the operations on rows only. And if I write down A equals to AI, it means the whole sum will be done with the help of column operations. Then we cannot make change to the rows, but the changes will be made column wise only in order to make this matrix A as the inverse, right? I hope the elementary operations are clear. I am going slow so that you people can understand it well, because the concept is important. Though the sums seem to be easy because it's only addition, subtraction of numbers, but see, in the exams sometimes students get stuck even in these sums. So it's okay if we are going slow, but you have to do the sums properly, carefully, and complete your work in your registers, so that when we revise the things, the topics are clear to you people, and no problem is there. Okay, thank you students. In the next video we will discuss one or two examples to understand how to apply these operations, right? Thank you.